I'm Tiffany. Thanks for coming to see me today. I appreciate y'all being here and spending some time with us. Again, if you need to get up and eat and use the bathroom, you're not going to offend me in any kind of way. So please feel free to do what you need. How much time do I have?
You got an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay. I'll be an hour. Okay. Maybe less. So, I don't know. Yeah, I can talk. Well. And listen, I don't have a way. I speak fine. It's a dialect, right?
I love it.
Yeah. So I am from the New Orleans area, and I actually got into real estate, like Hannah said, like 8 years ago. This year is my 8th year. And got into real estate for different purposes. I wanted to make new friends. We moved to a new area. Wanted to figure out a way to, I was at a place in my business where I'm not happy. I'm sure y'all all here for some reason or other, right? At the top of my game of the business I was in, and said, this is so boring. I'm 30, I want to do something else. So, jumped into real estate. This was after Katrina. And where I'm from, everybody was displaced. So my entire town flooded. There was like 1 or 2 homes that did not. And everyone I know ended up all over the country, right? So that's kind of the basis of how I started real estate was, okay, now what? What do I do? I don't know anyone where I am in Vanderbilt, right? I think I do, but how do I go find them? I don't even know where they are. So I said that was going to be what I was going to do. I was going to find new friends, and I'm going to make new friends. So that's kind of how we started real estate. So I always like to lay that out so that you understand that you can do real estate and have a big database regardless of what town you're in, if it's where you're born and raised or if it's a new place that you're moving to. So you never let your current location be the determining factor of how you choose to run your business. So anyway, my team, I think we have, well, I don't think I have, this year in 2017 actually, there was 11 of us and only 3 working agents. Everyone else is admin. I don't touch a piece of paper. I hate paper. I couldn't, if you gave me a piece of paper and tried to tell me how to fill out my name on it, I will mess it up some kind of way or another. So my big thing is leverage. I will leverage out anything. So there were 3 working agents on our team. We'll do about 250 transactions this year. And over half of those will be from my database. So it's all people we know and all people we've done business with in the past. So I'm at 52%, and my goal is 75. So we want to have a business that has the phones ringing to us and not us doing all the work. How many of y'all enjoy just money kind of coming to you? If I could show you a way to make $1 million a year off of that, would you be interested? Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, so that's what we're doing, $1 million business. We're trying to figure out how do we get that? No, it's amazing. I'm like, wow. Okay, so number one thing is that when it comes to Sphere and database, your database is you want to portray who you are. So in any business, you never try to be someone else. So the people, you build rapport with your database and the people you know because they already know you, probably, or you're getting to know these people. And the real you will always come out, right? I think maybe this is the dressiest I may get. They just put a rule in the office because of me that I needed to stop wearing my flip-flops. But that's who I am, right? And I always have my hair in a ponytail, so my sister-in-law cut my hair off. So just things like that. So anyway, just always be who you are so that the person you are comes out in your business. So if you are yatty and like to talk a lot and kind of do business your own quirky way, be that person. That is who you are, and that's what's going to shine in your business, who you are. And that's who you are naturally, so you always want to just be who you are naturally, right? I talk fast, so sorry. I hope you can understand me. I might need a translator. Okay, so where did I start with my database? So when I first got into real estate, how many of y'all are in business for less than 6 months? Y'all here less than 6 months? How about less than a year? Okay. Is everyone in this room? I'll Oh, so less than a year, okay. Let me just leave it there. So where did you start with your database? How many of you would say y'all have over 1,000 people in your database right now? Over 1,000 in your database?
That's less than a year in a business.
Do you know how many you have?
Do you know how many you have in your database?
So is the database like leads or?
So database is not leads at all. This is your sphere of influence, your current clients, your past clients, your core advocates, people you've met, that if I come up to you and say, hey, you're not going to say, hey, those people. How many of those people do you have in your database? Do you know how many
Like that you're actually doing real estate deals with, or just that you can walk up to?
People, church, friends, people you went to school with, your friend and her mama and the people she goes to church with, right?
Yeah.
They all know you some kind of way or another. Do you feel that you have everyone in your database that should be?
No.
Is your database complete?
And that's what, and when you say that, do you mean like you actually have a list that you can go to and pull up an address and a phone number?
So your database is your match. And that's what we're talking about here. You might call them your sphere of influence. Then you're going to break that down to core advocates. You can call these your mats. You can call them all kinds of different things, right? So your database, now what do you need in your database, right? So if you don't even know if you have, how many you have in there, number one, you got to know how many you have, right? So what does your database look like now? And let me explain what I mean by database, because a database means that you have to have some key information. You got to have their name. Please always make sure you don't include like the divorce person, or someone who's passed away, or calling the wrong name, or like there's things that happen. So you got to always make sure you have the right information. So you need that. You need their phone number, their address, and their email. This is one person, right? How many people like this that you have in your database? So, complete information. So, when you grow in your database, how do you build your database, right? Where do you start? First thing to start is a wedding list, maybe. Birthday party list.
Cell phone contacts?
Cell phone. I was you raising the phone, and I'm like, what am I looking at on the phone? Is my daughter texting?
I can tell you this, every person that joins, every agent that joins my team, the first thing they have to do is bring in 100 contacts.
Yeah, you can't step in the door without them.
If you don't, they're told, once they get hired, they get an offer made
If you have 98,
to join. If you have 99, don't even bother coming in.
Thank you so much.
And that does two things. It adds to your database, but it also gives them somewhere to start calling that's more comfortable.
so start there. So you can start
But
your cell
100
phone,
contacts.
a wedding list, birthday party list, right?
Hack Equifax.
Hack Equifax for 148. Yeah. So where else can you start, right? Your sister's wedding list.
She just got married last weekend.
Exactly.
Next month.
Yeah, so make us start like that. So let me give you some other tips on that too. So other things you can do, and that's actually on my notes. Facebook. Everybody has Facebook, right? You don't get one. Yeah.
Referrals to work here.
It's like you cannot have it. I mean, you have the coolest toys. If you don't have Facebook, I mean, you're probably not good fit for this place.
Don't unfriend me either.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
Yeah. I don't know how y'all work it out. So start with your Facebook. Go through your Facebook. Now, when I say go through your Facebook, you have to kind of stalk your friends' list. So you may not know where your friends are. You may not know everyone. Like, how do I add, right? Okay. Go click on your best friend's page. Go to her friends and go look through that and skew through that and say, who on this list do I know? You're going to know her aunts, her uncles, everybody that they know. So it's not about your friends list. It's about your friends' list. Because usually you're one what's it called?
Degree of separation.
1 degree of separation. So you want to make sure that you're adding their friends. So go there and you start there. That's just to lay out the groundwork. Now the hard part starts, right? So how do I get these people actually in a database? What do y'all use here for y'all database? So we're using different things?
Boomtown.
Boomtown, cool, perfect. So, easy putting people in a boomtown, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes if they're not evacuated from Florida, it should be pretty easy. So we use boomtown as well. So how do you get people into your database, right? Well, first you have to have a systematic approach of doing this. You're not going to complete everything in one day. So please do not try. That would be me. I try to do, I'm going to just get it all done, and nothing gets done. So don't be that person. Really take the time out to lay out your foundation and figure out what are my goals, how does this show up on my 411 or whatever kind of goal tracking system you're using. What does this need to look like? So you got to do it over time. Some other exercises you may want to also add to this, because I forgot this one, is the yellow page exercise. Anybody done that? Where you just kind of start, okay, let me pull out a yellow page. If you can find one, which by the way is like so hard to find yellow pages these days. Just so you know. You never find them. We finally have one. So you start in the top. Well, is it yellow pages or white pages with
White
the businesses?
pages.
Okay, the yellow pages.
Yellow business, white business.
Yellow, that's right, I was right, okay. So start at the top, okay, you're gonna use this as just a brain jogger here, just a memory jogger to say, okay, the A's, okay, that's accountants, what else they have in there? Appraisers, whoever shows up as a business, as a vendor type in the A's, you can say, I have an accountant, oh, they're not in my database, let me add that person to my database. Then you get to the B's, and then there's, I don't know,
A barber.
a barber, yes. A barista, oh, I don't know. It's just the topic specific, vendor specific, is to be a memory jogger to say, who do I know that does this for a living? So kind of go through it and just do one letter at a time. So 1 letter a day. Commit yourself to say, I'm going to do 1 letter a day, and I'm going to commit to adding this many people, 5 probably is plenty, a day to my database just based off of, I'm going to use the yellow pages exercise to say, who do I know that's an accountant? Who do I know that's an appraiser? Who do I know that's I don't know, whatever 8 businesses there are, I don't even know. It's been a while since I've done it, but I've done it. So start by doing that. Another thing, let's see. So that's just some ideas as to how to actually, where do I get names? Does anyone struggle with pulling names of people to add to their database? Anybody?
I struggle with, do I add them to my database? Do I come across as salesy?
Right.
Have I been a terrible friend?
Are we really close enough for me to put you in my database? Are you were in my Christmas card list 5 years ago, but I haven't sent out Christmas cards since.
Perfect. I'm going to teach you how to talk to those people.
Okay, good.
So come up with a plan. In part of your plan, these are just all ideas to say, who can I possibly add, right? These is getting the list, getting the ideas. Who am I going to add, right? And now then after that, you're going to figure out a way to actually talk to them, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Are you setting goals on how many people you're planning to add to your database or planning to meet? So say you're at a place where you already have all these people in your database and you've already done the work. Now who are you going to plan to add to it? Who are you going to meet? Do you have goals? Are you setting goals in your business to say, you know, my database sucks, it's terrible. I need to meet more people. What am I going to do? Do you have a goal set in your business to say, my goal is to meet 5 new people a week or 5 new people a month, whatever that looks like for you in your business. Do you have a goal? Number 1 would be set the goal, right? Are you setting goals? How many contacts you're making, how many appointments you're setting, how many listings you're going on, how many people you're going to get on the contract, how many people you're going to sell, how many people you're going to meet? Yeah, I talk that fast. You got to know it, right? So, how many people are you going to meet for your business, right? To feed to your database, because you have to feed it consistently over time. You feed your kids just every day. You feed yourself. You probably feed your dog, but you have to feed your database too. you ain't gonna have any money to feed all the rest of those people. So feed your database. This is easy. It's $1 million business a year off a database. So you gotta make it important to say, okay, I better make more friends, right? So make sure you're feeding it and just set a goal. When I started doing this, my goal was to just meet 5 new people a week. And that was easy, because if I was going on 5 appointments a week, that's not bad, right? Even if you get the listing or you don't get the listing, or you get the buyer or you don't get the buyer, you met them. That doesn't mean that they don't know people that need business. I mean, every listing appointment I go on and I don't get it, I'm going to still call that person. They still going in my Mets database, and I'm still going to harass them, right? The orphan clients, everything. They're going to know me. They may not remember their other agent, but they're going to remember me.
When you say Mets, what do you mean by Mets database? People that you met?
Yes,
Okay.
anybody that you've had,
On the street, in a couple,
they're going to know who you are. Face-to-face transaction or conversation
So
with.
separate from your sphere, okay, coincide.
They all coincide.
Okay.
Now, when I say sphere, I mean my Mets too. They become my sphere. It's just that when you break out your sphere, there's layers of sphere, right? And it looks just like that little circle in the bathroom that I've seen with my Y in the middle, right? So it's, what's that, a Target thing? Those little things, right? They're gonna start here, and then you're gonna have your levels of separation like this, you know? Your core advocates are gonna be in the middle. These are your really people you gotta treat like gold. People you treat like silver, people you teach, you know what I'm saying? You gotta treat them good, but there's gonna be layers of treatment within your sphere. So whereas this person, you may meet somebody I've had a listing appointment with, I didn't get the listing, they're gonna end up out here in this layer of my sphere. I have a client, I have a past client who sends me 5 referrals a year, every year for the last 8 years. Where do you think I'm gonna put that person?
Right up in the middle.
Boom. Boom.
Just
Yes.
took them to dinner a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so you gotta know your layers of, that's a whole nother, that thing you can study for months and months and months. To me, this is, just get them in there first and then figure that piece out next, right?
So how do you separate them within a list?
I don't. I treat all those people the same unless they're core advocates.
Oh, okay, so what you do for one, you do for all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Because because at any point, this person here can end up right here within a year. So I don't want to miss my opportunity of the way I talk to them, right? So I talk to all of them. So that's where I spend my time. And you can ask my husband, these conversations take forever, because I do talk a lot. But, to say, Tiffany, you're supposed to make 20 contacts today. I'm like, yeah, I talked to 5 people. I did get 5 referrals. She had to tell me about her grandma, and, I have to get off the phone. Sometimes that happens, right? But I got 5 referrals, so I'm not going to complain. So, that's kind of, you got to figure out where you're going to go with that, right? So how are you going to touch your database? Oh wait, I'm sorry, I skipped the whole part. Remember when you're thinking about your database, remember you can't count that person that you don't have complete data for. So if you have their email address and you don't have their phone number, or you don't have their address, now you have to work on what's my goal to get that information. So that's going to take focus, right? How are you going to focus on cleaning up your database, what you currently have, and adding to it at the same time? So it's 2 different things and 2 different actions and 2 separate goals, right? So you're going to have adding your wedding list, converting people on Facebook and adding them to the people. Then you're going to I have always 1,000 people in my database. However, I may only have my email addresses in there. I don't have any addresses, or I have a Fed phone number or whatever. So how am I going to clean that up, right? So there's different activities you can do to actually clean that up. The easiest way I would tell you to do it is just take 1 letter a week. Just like you would take, your Yellow Pages exercise, 1 letter a week. So if you just focus on the A's this week, and you called everybody in your database that starts with the letter A, or not call them, that I don't have their phone number, so I'm gonna have to email them and I'm gonna have to send them something in the mail. So what does that look like? So you're gonna take a letter every week and say, okay, I have Mr. Alfonso and Mr. Adams and all the Abrams and all those people that show up and the last name starts with an A. You're gonna call all those people this week and say, or you're gonna email them, or you're gonna send them something in the mail. You know, I might say, okay, what do I send them? Or what am I gonna say to these people, right? What am I calling them about? I just wanna call them, get the information, what I'm gonna say, right? So you're gonna say that, yes. You have to have a script. This is why scripts are very important. That you're cleaning up your database, but you need a database call script, right? Say, hey, this is Tiffany. I'm sorry I haven't gotten in touch with you in such a long time, and that's my fault. How have you been? I've been thinking about you this week. How have you been? How's your mom and them, right? Oh, how y'all doing? So have that conversation with them and say, oh, you know what? I came across your number. I'm so glad I actually ended up having the right number to get in touch with you. And I just wanted you to check in. You know, we are constantly cleaning up our database. And I want to keep you informed of what's going on, not only in real estate, but just in the local economy. There's always things that are changing around here. Would you find that information valuable? I'll let you know when schools are being built, roads being closed, the mayor fraudulently getting charged for stealing money or whatever, right? Would that be okay if I shared some of that information? You know, we always sharing tips and ideas on how to make your house more valuable. Would that be stuff you'd be interested in? Okay, fantastic, great. So get their information. You got them on the phone, and just talk to them. So you know what? I really appreciate you taking my phone call today. Thank you so much. And since you took my phone call today, I'm going to go ahead and add you to a drawing. We are drawing an iPad mini at the end of this month, and I'm so happy that I got to speak to you today and add you to that drawing. Is that okay if I do that? Oh, you're asking for permission to say, can I add you for a free drawing for an iPad mini, right? By the way, you're not buying an iPad mini. No,
We do.
We get a sponsor. Somebody buy iPad mini and it's not gonna be me. Somebody, and then like at the end of it, I call my lender or something. I don't even know if that's illegal here. Is that legal here?
It is.
To sponsor people to get sponsored? Okay, good. So you're gonna call so and so. Oh, yes. By the way, Stephanie. This is my call. I call Stephanie. Stephanie. I promised this week, yesterday, on the ride out here. I'm gonna promise the Audubon Zoo family pass for a year. Can you spot that? Okay, good. Because I got mad. Somebody had more reviews than me, and then in the whole competition or anything. But it's gonna be good stuff. It's good stuff. However, you get your sponsor to kind of listen. I'm gonna give away this stuff. So if you tell your money. And it doesn't even have to be anything big. You can give away a $25 gift certificate, Visa gift card, and people are just going to be appreciative of you actually doing that. Also, number one, the other thing I do on every Spear call I make, I follow it up with a thank you note card. So, always follow it up, letting them know, thank you so much for taking my call. I hope, I really enjoyed it. Here's all my information. In case you do ever need me in the future. You got my info.
And you put your business card in that thing?
Put my business card in every card. Everything I put in the mail, my business card goes in. Just stick it in there.
Is your stationery, is it branded as well, or do you make it more?
I buy I go to the dollar store, and I just buy the cheapest. So, I notice that I am so frugal. I'm going to find a way to make $1 off everything or recycle it in any kind of way. So, literally, I started my business out of my spare bedroom, and it was those plastic foldy tables and an aluminum chair and an Office Depot old box was my file cabinet because I refused to buy furniture because I was moving and I was going to get an office. So I had a goal. And I said, I'm going to sit here on this rinky-dink chair where my butt hurts until I can afford to get my own office, right? So that's what I did. So anyway, it doesn't need to be. You don't have to think so much into the detail of it, it's the action of it. So
Consistency over time.
it's the consistency. I give money to the veterans that mail the those little note cards and stuff in the mail. Who sends those things out? I always get them. You know what I'm talking about? Like send me some money. They give you all these cute cards and they're like kitty cats on it or something. I don't know. But anyway, I save all of those. I like write a check out to them whenever. Oh, it's so cute. I'm gonna donate to whoever. You mail me something. Look, I'm that person. You gonna put me something in the mail. I'll probably write you a check for something. Like even if it's $5, right? You gotta donate.
What's your address again?
Yeah. They hit me up with those chocolate almonds all the time. That's good, but I'm fat and I can't fit anything. But no, it doesn't matter. My point is it doesn't matter what you write it on and your logo or anything. Your logo's on a card. I mean, I have stationery with my logo on it. I found a cheap provider for it. That's the only reason I have it, and I literally just got it about 6 months ago. Only because we're trying to get fancy. But I've been in the business, now it's like, okay, I'm making all this money, I guess I can finally spend money, right? But other than that, I don't suggest you put too much thought into it. I just send it out. I mean, go to like one of the after Christmas sales, they always have like little thank you cards for sales, like a box of 100 for $5 or something, just get that, don't matter. But I always send a thank you card afterwards. Stamp costs more, you sell it, the stamp is so expensive. But yeah, follow it up with that. If you do not have their phone number to call them, just mail them a cute letter, and on that you're just going to write, hey, listen, I'm so sorry I lost your phone number. However, we're having this fantastic contest right now where we're giving away an iPad mini to the person that, you can be entered into the drawing for an iPad mini if you fill out this information and send it back to me. And on that sheet, it's like a VIP questionnaire. And on that sheet at the bottom, it says, oh, do you happen to know anybody that wants to buy a sell a house that I can call? So you're always asking for referrals in this little bitty way of doing it.
Yeah, that sheet she's talking about, it's got on their birthday, anniversary, their kid's birthday. Like, you get all that information because you're sending them happy birthday calls all throughout the year.
Yeah, and on it, we have a cover letter for it that says, hey, it's Tiffany. I'm so sorry I lost your phone number. This is the only way I can find you. I hope I hope this is the right person, right? Because you don't even know where you're mailing it. However, I just wanted to make sure that I stay in contact with you with some great information we always have. Plus, right now we're giving away an iPad mini. If you fill this out, get this back to us, I'll gladly enter you into the drawing. People love right? You just love Yetis. My husband was trying to make me give away a Yeti yesterday. They go crazy.
I know, but I was just thinking you talking about being frugal. That was probably like making you stress out.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, I'm not spending. He thought they were $100.
It's just the little one. It's $200.
I said, that's $200. I was expensive. I don't even have a Yeti. What are you talking about? I did have a Yeti, and I gave it to a core advocate. Like, for real. Thank you. For real, he makes me a lot of money.
Diana, can we get that sheet from her?
Yeah, I have it. I'm gonna make copies for everybody.
So with that though, when you are going through your database and trying to make like a habit out of making these phone calls, look, this is exhausting. You're doing like some private detective work sometimes to figure out. I don't even have their last name in this database. I don't even know. It says unknown, and everybody probably pops up in Boomtown as unknown. I know they do for me because I have bad information and stuff, right? I didn't import it right, which is probably the operator error. CSV file just did not work. Oh, so yeah. So anyway, but you have to be focused on this. If this is important to you, I want you to know that, I mean, these people, this is a $1 million business. And I'm not talking about volume. I'm talking about commission. You have got to be serious about it. So being focused on it and saying, I'm going to make this massive, and I'm going to do it to another level. I'm going to do it better than anybody else, right? So being very focused on it. Always set your goals every week. It's so important to say, okay, I said I was going to do the letter A. I did the letter A, and now I'm going to move on to the letter B. If you failed at letter A, obviously, keep on moving forward, right? Get it done. So how to touch your database. Y'all familiar with the 33 touch program and all that good stuff, right? So at first you're going to call them just trying to get their updated information, like I said, right? You keep them up to speed on real estate and any kind of economic changes that happen. Go ahead. Hi, how are you? Good. Good. So, let them know that you're going to add them to your database. Yeah. And let them know that you're going to, go to touch them so that they understand they're about to get bombarded with good stuff. But it's good stuff. And like I said, always give something away. It's a $20 gift card, $25 gift card, a pass to something. I don't know, you probably can get, look, people look to us and like they get money, like all these lenders and title companies, they like have money to spend. I don't know where they get it from, but they budget stuff for their marketing. So ask them, right? I mean, you can ask somebody for business, ask them for sponsorships and other things other than your open houses, right? You can go buy your own Diet Coke and cookies, right? Get them to sponsor for something else. I mean, it's just a thought. You never know what they're going to say. I mean, I know my lender and my title companies actually, they pay for all of this. My inspector, everything, they pay for all of this. I don't pay a dime. I just know how to ask a lot.
You know how to find the right person to ask.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't give you the answer that you want.
Yeah, and I'll just go to the next person. So you have to come up to your 33 touch plan, come up with a systematic approach to this, right? With at least 4 calls in your 33 touch. So when I say come up with a systematic approach, how are you using it to call your database? Do you have it on your calendar? Is it as a to-do, a reminder in Boomtown? What does that look like, right? It can look like anything, but I'm very simple. I mean, mine is in my Google Calendar. It has its own marketing calendar. I have a marketing calendar, and that's where everything goes. So every time I have got to make database calls, I actually don't have them. Like I said, I'm very simple when it comes to this part of my business. I don't utilize Boomtown as to-dos and stuff. I should, and we were going to move to that, but right now I'm not, and it's working for me. So don't dig too much into worrying about having it perfect. Just worry about actually having it and doing it, right? You just got to do it. So mine right now is just in Google Calendars, and I just have every month set up. On that sheet, I have every month set up what I'm calling them about. But there's at least 4 phone calls, and you can start making it simple. Mine's like 9 calls every year. Every year I make at least 9 calls to every single one of my sphere. Me and my team does. My team and I. How you say that?
Close enough.
We do it.
I went to public school, any of this stuff, right? They said I should never be in sales. That's amazing. They tried to teach me how to spell, it didn't work. So anyway, haven't you do I leverage my spelling, so y'all know.
Kendall does as well.
You got to, girl. It's real. The struggle is real. They literally take my Facebook away, and they're like, Tiffani, really? You put that on Facebook? It doesn't even spell right. My husband is.
Yeah, the name about one of our pages isn't even spelled right. The page name isn't spelled right.
Everything's wrong. It's just totally wrong. I didn't see it.
We can still be successful and not spell.
I don't even spell. Right? I tell everybody, I don't know how to spell. I don't know where I'm going. Don't ask me where I am on a map because I have no idea. I can barely speak, but I can tell you house. So you're 33 touch. So have a plan. It can be simple. And literally, when I started my business, I wish I still had them. But I printed out just a calendar. So simple. Just you can get one of those, halfway naked fireman's calendars if you want. I don't know, or Kit-Kats, either one. Anyway, but you can use that and say, okay, I'm going to make my calls for Easter. I'm going to make my calls. Gotta call them for Christmas, right? And you have to make calls at the beginning of the year. Always. That's like your number 1 call is at the beginning of the year. So you should start here. If you don't come to work on New Year's Day like I do, come January 2nd, and start making your calls, thanking people for the opportunity to share your real estate knowledge with them. And oh, by the way, I have some hefty goals this year. And we're looking to get 300 referrals from our friends and family. And I'm hoping, is that something I can count on you for? So you let them know your goals, and then you ask them, is this something that I can count on you for? Fantastic. You know, I can't wait to see what happens in 2018. I wish you and your family the best year ever. Thank you so much for taking my calls.
I would even take it a step further and nail them down to a specific number. Say, how many can I count on you for?
If you know.
And let them give you, if you know them very well.
Yeah. He'll ask because it's written on a script, and he'll just say that. So it's amazing how much you can leverage that too. It's so much fun. I just tell my husband, here, look, I wrote this script. Can't call us people and tell them that. He'll just say, okay, I will. So when he does, it's so awesome. It's cool, right? So anyway, at least you have to have at least 4 calls in there, and you have to, right? But what does my 33 touch look like? So I didn't want to scare anybody with, oh my gosh, this is going to cost me a ton of money, right? Because I already told you that I don't pay for anything. So different things that we do. And so my calendar, you know, it's written on a piece of paper still. It's still on a piece of paper. It's nowhere fancy. But I do have a marketing director now, and she does all of this, and her entire job now is to make me money off of my sphere. That's her whole job. It's like, okay, your form of lead generation is making money off of my sphere. That's all she does. So lead generation cannot just be prospecting for phone calls. Her lead generation and her 20% of her, what she does, is making this happen.
Is she licensed?
She is. She doesn't have to be. She is, because she's been with me forever. So she is. She knows me. She's been with me she's my longest assistant on the team. So she knows how to make these emails look, what they should say, and who I am, and what our team is. So casting the vision of who you are and what you want that to look like in your business is very important. And it's also important that your team members, if you grow in a team, know that as well. So you're casting your vision of that every single day. So within just different things that we do is, we send out 12 emails a month. 12 emails a year, 1 a month, right? We just bomb because it's easy and I can talk on it. And they have to record me like 10 times because I probably pronounce things wrong every single time. And they're like, read that. And she makes like this pretty little thing to read, and I'm supposed to read it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do this, you know? So, but, you know, so anyway. Winging it sometimes is just not bad, right? These are people that know you and understand that either you're gonna wing it or you're not. So you're just gonna show up and who you are. So different things that we talk about on the emails is whatever's going on in the real estate market is always hot. Tell everybody every single time I know it's hot, it's fantastic. Everything is always hot. The block is hot. So. And it always comes out in our bomb videos. So we always make it, and we're being a local economist. So that's why you're driving. I'm a real estate agent. 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 Because at the end of the day, they know who to call when they need real estate needs. So, but I'm not telling them I'm a real estate agent. I'm telling them, listen, it's Halloween. And right now, if you're saving your house to get your home on the market, let me tell you some great tips. 5 tips to making sure your house doesn't look like a scary monster in pictures and date your listing, right? So I'm going to share different things about making sure you're staging for the holidays properly. 5 tips to stage your house for the holidays properly. 7 strategies for a buyer in today's market. Lots of number of things. They work well. And it's so easy to read on the list when you're talking about it, right? So just giving them different things on where can you get the most value in your house if you are renovating, right? What's the biggest bang for your buck when you're renovating your house? Or what's the hottest market right now to be buying in to get the most money for biggest bang for your buck, right? Everything. So you're just sharing information that you already know. I don't make any of these topics up. I steal them from everyone. So, like, if the Will Real Estate Group sends out an email and I think it's a good topic, I'm going to share that with my sphere. I have a whole thing in my email of just I call them viral emails because I used to use the company Viral Marketing to do my emails. I don't anymore because, like I said, I'm cheap. And I wanted to use them for a year to see what they were all about, so that's what I did. And then I turned them off because I had enough information that I needed. So, but I have a whole thing of viral emails that I keep that other agents send me. And I just recreate that. And I say, oh, it's a great time. Hey, put that in my email. So those are what your email should look like. Just driving the fact that you are the local real estate expert in whatever. It doesn't have to say that I'm the local real estate expert. You're just saying it in other ways, right? Other things that we do is just our events, right? The different events that we do are inexpensive events. So if we are, is there anything you can do, we have like a dog parade in our town, so we become like a sponsor for the dog parade, and we happen to invite our entire database of Sphere, past clients, and everybody to it. So we join forces with a local event that's already taken place. You don't set up anything, I just set up a booth. I don't do anything, and they market it to the world, right? I don't do anything. I'm just going to invite my Sphere and say, hey, oh, by the way, if you come by my booth, I have a special gift for you. And I don't know what my gift would be. I mean, it's just, you make up a gift. If it's a pumpkin, if it's a, we've done dog parades. We've done, like the Monster Mash. It's a local Halloween event that the hospital puts on. We've done, we sponsor a movie night. That was free. It didn't cost me anything. I just had to rent the movie because apparently it's a licensing thing or whatever. So that didn't cost anything. Just different things that you can join forces, whatever the local event is, and say, oh, I'm gonna pay for a booth in there. No, by the way, get someone to pay for it for you, right? You can do that. We send out. We actually have a parade that passes in front of our office. So I host a party for our Sphere and past clients. That's easy. That doesn't cost me anything. I just buy pizza and just get everybody to come out, and I've invited them. The whole point is that I'm doing the other things on this list to do it. So like in January, we sent out an email. We sent out our, we do that parade and the festival magnet because everybody loves parades and festivals. Where are we from? We do the event, the Eve Parade event. We do the Evite on Facebook for the event. We do the event calls. Then we do the post-event activities on the property on it. So like there's lots of different things on this list that we do.
Yeah, and those calls happen since our database is so big. It's everybody on the team's calling, but it's only like 13 names a day. It may start a month before the event, but it's everybody's got 13 or 12 or 13 names a day.
Yeah. So if I'm having
Just call.
so if I'm doing the parade, I'm going to have an entire event checklist of what to do. So the first thing would be to do the phone calls, right? Then I'm going to do a Facebook event. What's that called? No, you know those Facebook things you can make with the events? And I happen to have all my past clients and Spheres labeled in my Facebook so that I can just say, okay, check, I'm going to invite all of these people, and you see, and all of these people, and it sends out an invite. I don't even have, that's so easy. So now it's on their Facebook. They're also going to get it in an Evite, and they're going to see it in our monthly email that we send them. Plus, they're also going to get it in the mail, right? So I just send them something. A lot of times when you talk to people, they have to hear it 3 times in order to actually say, oh yeah, I remember what you said. So we send it multiple ways, and you see a bigger turnout when you keep telling them about it. So when we do our events, just always have a checklist ready when you're doing an event. It's important to say, okay, I'm going to host an event, and I'm going to put all this time and effort into it. Well, you have to have a plan around your event. So create a checklist for that. You're going to make your phone calls, like I said, mail something to them, send them an email, invite to that. Also, so if you're going to host an event, whatever the event may be, please remember that you are there for a purpose, and the purpose is to get a referral. That is the whole purpose of your event. Is to, yes, I care about you hugs and kisses. This is fun prospecting. However, I'm here to do a job, and my job is to get a referral. So you get people, make sure you're prepared to collect their information. So you're gonna have like a notepad, just those little things, and hey, fill this out. Can you please fill this out, give me information. Okay, now here's a bracelet or a name tag to it, or whatever it may be. Thank you so much. Oh, I see you missed that spot about where I asked for a referral. Do you happen to know anyone that is looking to buy or sell?
She asked for it. She asked for
She'll
it.
ask for it.
Yeah. So, I see you missed it. Okay, well, you don't know anybody. You know who to call, right? If you are looking, right? Okay, awesome. I'm so glad you came. Thank you. Come on, let's get a drink. So, anyway, that's what it looks like. Like, legit. That is what it looks like. So, have them fill it out and say, hey, look, fill out this information. So, number one, what are you doing? You're getting the most accurate information on that person because your job is to feed your database every day. So you're feeding it with all this lovely new little sprinkly cards because they may have a new email address, they might have a new phone number because they got rid of the ex-boyfriend and they got changed numbers. And then they may have moved without you and then, so you got to kind of figure all that out. And so you get that information and you're going to put that in your database when you get back. So with your checklist for your event, make sure that you're there for a purpose. Always have this. When you're at an event, and this is what's important if you're going to host events, regardless of what it is. Our favorite event is our Easter pictures and our fall pictures. So October 14th, we have fall pictures coming up. It's not even I don't even pay for it, the photography. It's just Ashley brings her camera. And we find it's a good camera. Right? It's great. Right? And I'm like, if I said, what's your name? I'm sorry, Ann. And hey, you know what? Thank you so much for taking my call today. I wanted to call and invite you to our our client appreciation fall pictures. So that's October 14th at, I don't even know where it is, Salmon Park. I'd love for you guys to come. Can I go ahead and pencil you in for reservation? You would say yes. Yes, fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to see you and the kids or whoever I'm calling, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pencil you in from them. Is there anybody else that maybe I should call that I've done business with in the past that may want to come too? And they say, I don't know who I've done business with. Like, oh, good. Well, do you happen to know anyone that I should be doing business with? Right? And then they say, whatever, not yet, but okay. You know what? If you think of someone and if you think they'd like the client photos, I'd love for you to bring them along and I can meet them then. Would that be something they might be interested in, right? Okay, great. Can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for taking my call. Right? And then I actually pencil them in for whatever they told me you're going to do.
So do you write a thank you note for all of those as well?
I don't for those, not the event calls.
Okay.
If I'm just calling to touch base with them on something, but I would probably fill it up. It depends on the conversation, where the conversation goes. So if
You get a referral, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if they show up and they fill out the information, and they put a referral down, then you can.
Well, on the actual phone conversation with the invitate, like I'm inviting them to an event. Say if my call that week. See, that's the thing with calling your sphere and your past clients and things like that, is that you're actually coming from contribution. You always are. In every phone call you're making anyway. You are trying to help. Just remember that I'm hosting this fantastic event. And that's going to come off in the conversation that, hey, look, I'm so excited to call you about this event that we're hosting, yada, yada, yada. Can I count you guys in? And it isn't, and the whole point of actually having these events and doing different things for them is that you're consistent in calling them. You have a systematic approach and you call them throughout the year for these events. And literally, you don't even have to host events. You can show up at someone else's event and set up a table. It doesn't, for real, I do this and I invite people to it. Like, I'm putting this big old thing on and they're like, I'm so glad you put this thing on for us. I know, right? It's just video. It's just video, thank you. So, but the point is that you're making these calls to people, and the point is that no one else is. Their dentist isn't calling them. Their accountant isn't calling them. There's no one that they're doing business with on the doctor, No one's calling them and inviting them. And it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they may say, I'm not coming. But you guys are great. You know, I don't know anybody that invites us to more things than what y'all invite us to. Thank you so much for always checking in on us. And let me tell you, if they say they don't have somebody that wants to buy, but let me tell you, if I did, they coming to you, because you call me all the time, and that's how the conversation goes. You know what? Good. You love me that much? Okay, well, can I ask you for a favor? Would you mind doing a review about me and the team? And then you can open up to a whole nother thing, right? So, always remember what your purpose in real estate is that, you know, you're there to help people get what they want. However, come from contribution to get them, you know, to get what you need to. Right. So, in your event checklist as well, I want to add, during the event, make sure that you are getting those papers filled out, like have a form for them to fill out. Ask for referrals. Ask for reviews in person. You can put them on a video right then and there. If they don't want to be in video, record it on your phone and say, okay, I'm not going to put that out. Your hands are back. Let me go ahead and record you though, right? Because it's always something, oh my God. Right, they're going to say it, they're going to have an objection, right? Everybody has an objection for something because they're just scared to look bad on camera. So say, oh yeah, you know what, you don't have to. How about I just record you? And they say, oh no, it sounds terrible. Okay, well I won't share that, but I'll actually put it on I'll send you a link right now and you can go ahead and review me on Zillow. How is that? Is that okay? Okay, perfect, fantastic. So just remember that you're there to do that. Take lots of pictures of the event and make sure that you are live streaming the actual event on Facebook and your social, you know, whatever you're using for social media. Live stream the event. Take pictures of the event. You want to blast that all over your social media accounts. Let people know I'm a real estate agent and I'm hosting this great event for people I know that I've done business with in the past. Okay? So have your checklist of that. After the event, what you're going to do is that you're going to have like a post-event to-do list. So you got your event, you got your pre-event checklist, which you're making your phone calls, sending your emails and things like that. You got your during the event checklist, and then you have your post-event checklist. The most important thing you want to do on that checklist is that's where you're going to make the thank you phone calls to the people who have attended the event. And the people that have RSVP'd and did not show up, you're going to call them too and say, I'm so sorry I missed you. I wish you could have made it. We had such a great time. Thank you though for saying you were going to come, but we are going to host something in a couple months from now, and I'll make sure to reach out to you then. How's that sound? Is that okay if I reach out to you then? Okay, fantastic. You basically an event planner. It's so much fun. I mean, you just like get wrapped up in these events and things and like these things you're doing, and you forget that, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be selling real estate. It's so much fun. And here's the great thing about these things that you're hosting. They're all coming to you. You don't have to drive around town and knock on the doors to visit them at work or at their house. And, you know, like these are all conversations that you're going to have with people face to face, which is fantastic. I mean, what's a better way to build rapport than having someone in front of you to actually ask for a referral in front of you? You know, they sit right there, and I can finally ask you in person again for the 4th time this year. But you never need to buy some real estate in a nice way. So that's what you need to do during the event. I want to tell you a little bit more about past clients and how important it is to have a good relationship with your past clients. So you always have to be solution-based during your transaction, right? Before, during, and after you transact with someone. So treat them right. How much money do you think you can count on somebody for in one transaction?
Around 5,000.
For one transaction, right? Brett, how much do you think you can count on somebody for one transaction?
Me? I look at them like about $50,000 to $80,000 each.
That's how you should be looking at your clients.
That's how you should treat them.
Yeah. This is a person who can make you upwards of $80,000, $100,000. Now how you going to treat them?
You treat them like gold.
Yeah. Now how you going to treat your clients? It's a big difference, right? It isn't. You think of clients as that I have to make a good impression and they're gonna you know, and look, there's people that I choose not to do business with, and they get deleted from that database because I think it's a privilege to be in my database, and some people don't earn those privileges. If you understand what I'm saying, sometimes they get the little delete button, I put them in a trash can, and that's okay because there's just some people that you can't do business. You just realize that we're not a good fit, and it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm so glad that you got everything you needed. I did my job. However, you're not going to be one of those people that I continue to do business with, and I'm okay with that. Because there's just some people in this world that you have to be okay with that. Because if you're doing your job every day, sometimes it's okay to say no to people because you get to choose your business, right? Remember that. You don't need to be a walking mat for someone. That's not okay. Because you treat them with this expectation of, I'm going to do a great job, and I am going to provide a fabulous service for you. I'm going to be a problem solver. I am going to fight for you to the death of anything. You can ask my husband. I'm like he would have quit a long time ago, you know, with something, and I won't let it go. Like, I'll just keep fighting for whatever it is at that given moment. For instance, you know, like, just always be solution based. Come in here. I mean, we ran into a tree. The air condition broke in the camper. We're going camping.
The tree kind of hit the camper.
My husband ran into a tree. But according to my husband, the tree hit the camper.
It was too low.
Ended up, it happens, and then ended up at the RV shop before we headed out this way. The camper, the air conditioner is broke. But instead of getting, worked up about it, okay, how are we going to find a solution? I don't want to be, fantastic. So it ended up being great, right? Because there's a solution to everything. And there's lots of fires that we have to put out as agents during a transaction. Remember, that is your job, to help them put out those fires.
Can you go back to the post-event duties?
Yes.
One is inquiring.
Okay, post-event duties.
What does that look like?
So you're going to do your thank you calls to the attendees. You're going to do the sorry we missed you calls with people that RSVP'd and didn't show up. You're going to see how many referrals you came home with, because that was your job, and you probably should set a goal before you go. And then you want to analyze the actual event. Was this cost effective? Because remember, we're running a business, and it's always about the cost. Was it a cost-effective event? Should you do this again? Like we have a crawfish boil, I won't have it again. It just wasn't cost-effective for the.
Wasn't.
It was fun. It was fun, a great time. I could have had crawfish at my own house, probably saved a lot of money. It would still been a great time.
And it all depends. I don't know what kind of market you guys are experiencing either, but we're experiencing a shifting market, so there's a lot of stuff going into that as well.
Yeah.
You got to start trimming the fat on everything you're doing.
Even things like this, that's why everything is sponsored. Now, is it cost effective? And remember, I haven't even paid a dime because I've had sponsorships for all of this. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to spend their money on that when I could probably spend their money on other things and maybe add a whole nother event instead. So I'm going to go back to my fall pictures, and it's a great event. I literally, my marketing assistant has a great camera. I don't know, it's one of them fancy cameras. I have one myself. I don't know how to use it. We have a great backdrop. You just go in the morning before 12 o'clock. Apparently that's the secret pictures. You just make sure that the sun's not right here. So I don't know. But anyway, you have good lighting, right? So literally, she just goes to Home Goods, buys some cute little things, and we put it in front of a brick wall, like glass
Sometimes we
pictures.
have live animals, like little
Yeah, for
chicks,
Easter we have like a bunny or
and
something.
then we give them away to people.
Chickens. We have chickens.
Yeah,
We have little baby chicks. They're like $2 a piece at the food store. Yeah, and so we go get the baby chicks, and they hold like little baby chicks. We had to stop letting them hold the chickens because they kept dropping them. But this is so easy. You just have to have a good camera. A cute backdrop. It doesn't need to be anything gaudy because remember you are going to bring in girls and boys. And let me tell you, people come. We did maternity pictures last Easter. Some girl showed up pregnant. She's like, "Can you take a picture of me and Rebecca?" Sure, girl, come on. Wow. So
ridiculous.
But it didn't cost us anything except for, you know, the invitations that we sent out.
This may be a crazy question, but then how in the world do you keep up with who you're taking a picture of and getting the picture to that person?
Do you have, so if you don't have a team, you have children, you have a husband, you have friends, you have a mom, you have a mother-in-law, you have all those people.
Somebody that wants
That's
to
your
see you successful.
So you get those people, kids, teenagers is so helpful. Well, not mine, but everybody else's all it is. But you know what I'm saying? So you get those people to help you and say, you're in charge of this. So you're in charge of the sign up.
Sign-in sheet.
Right? I am like okay, this is what I do for the events. I'm the one, I'm like the hype girl. So I'm with Ashley's taking the picture and I'm the one jumping around trying to get kids to smile. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. My throat hurts out. It's so much fun though, because then so I'm helping with the pictures. I get to talk to everybody because everybody comes through the picture line, right? So that's what we do. So we have people that help us with the event. It's become so big that I can't even take my own kids to the event now because it's so much work. It is, you know, you're working, and now we have to have something for the kids to do while they're in line.
Right, yeah.
Because we've had, the last event, there was over 150 kids, different shots we've had to take. You know, it just becomes so big. But those are my favorite, just because that one's free. I mean, it literally, just the invitation I send out, it's the only thing that costs me money for that. And then after the event for like that, I give them, at the event, we give them a card. It says, this is the directions on how to get your pictures, right? And then it's gonna be on, what do we use? I forgot.
Donate.
Now we transfer, it's something where it hosts the pictures,
Yeah.
starts with an S,
Snapfish?
Snapfish, that's what it is.
Snapfish.
Shutterfly. Yeah, it gives them the link. Like, I just made a simple domain name. Just is like trgvip.com/photos or something like that, and that forwards to that Shutterfly page. So everybody gets treated like a VIP. So when back to past clients, did I cover your post?
Yeah, I got it.
I'll give you, so anytime, if y'all have any questions about any of this, you can call me anytime and I'll be glad to share any of my information. Back to past clients, so you gotta treat them right during the transaction. Also during the transaction, make sure you're asking for referrals. Do you have a systematic approach of how you're asking for referrals? When should you be asking for them for? When you get the appointment. If I go on a listing, I'm asking for a referral when I set the appointment and I'm doing my pre-qualification script. It's in my pre-qualification script. When I go on the appointment, I'm gonna ask them again. When I come back, my listing manager is asking for a referral because they get paid for every referral they get. I give them $50. For every referral they get, so okay, I mean, like, would you like $50? Okay, go give me a referral. You know, so they get paid every referral. When it goes to the contract, they're happy. Should you be asking for a referral? Ask for a referral. When you're at the closing table, right? It's so exciting. It's so happy. Woo! So excited. Great. I'm so glad you're so excited. Do you happen to know anyone else that'd be excited as well that I can help sell a home to? That's just like you. Don't give me your rinky-dink people. I need people like you. I mean, I tell them that. I do. Because I'm putting it in the world. It's like, I don't want your crazy aunt now. I don't want her. But I'm talking about everybody else that's like you know, normal. Those people, you know any people like that? Just remember that you put it in the world what kind of clients you want. So remember to ask for referrals during the entire transaction. And it's not going to be like a weird, kooky kind of way. I mean, you don't want to ask them in a weird way. Ask them when they're happy. Ask them when they're happy all the time. Only when they're happy. If they're mad at you, you don't want to ask for a referral, right? You just like, you know, it's your fault they have to do a price adjustment. Don't ask them. Don't ask them during that, because then they're not going to get it. They're going to think you're weird. So just remember to ask and have a systematic approach of how you're going to ask for referral, always. Like I said, a client is worth at least $80,000 in my eyes. That's how we run our business. things go wrong, always figure out a solution. And I want to talk to you about the fake TRG VIP program that is in my business. Would you like to learn about our VIP program? So, now that you have signed up with me as a client, you get added to our client appreciation thing. And then I give them a packet, but I don't have my packets. But anyway, you know, they get a packet. Oh, here it is. They get this. And it has like little stuff in it, right? Thank you so much for listing your home with the Robin Group. I'm so excited that you're my client. Since you're a client now, you get to be part of the VIP program. So it's TRG VIP. With our program, they have so many fancy things that we do every year. We have events. We have stuff that you can rent equipment. You know, I don't even own any of this stuff. I had to buy it though when they asked me for it. I had to go buy it, right? Nobody's asked me for a generator yet. No, what is this thing?
We got a popcorn machine.
Power washer. What is this thing?
We got a pressure washer.
No, what is this thing?
I don't know. I can't see that far.
Air compressor.
Air compressor. I don't own one of those things.
Yeah, we do.
We do? Okay. So anyway, I just came up with a list of stuff, and I'm like, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I'll tell you what, they do a lot. They do use the chairs and the
Tables and chairs.
A lot. But anyway, I invite them to our program. They're now part of our program, right? They're part of our VIP program. Any buyer I take, so anytime we sign a buyer rep agreement, I don't know if y'all do that here, but we do. We sign buyer rep agreements. And if they've decided, thank you so much for buying a home with our team. We're so excited to have you. Now that you're part of our team, you're part of our VIP program. And here's some information for you, little treats in this packet for you, okay? Thank you so much. It's for you and your family to read over. So we're so excited to say you're home. Can't wait to meet you. So anyway, now that you're going to buy a house from us and you're going to be part of our family, here you go. Here's your welcome package. The welcome package to the family. I'm going to die. I'm telling you. I love this thing now. I have one. I need another one. I'll take it with me. It's in there. Break it. I'm sorry. So anyway, but with this though, so every listing I take, every buyer we take, gets a packet. Legit, like I said, God bless you. It's nothing fancy. I'm gonna leave this up here, but it's just basically a welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. It's just a letter and it says welcome to the family. Here's our little fancy pictures. I paid somebody to do this and now I know how to take this picture, so I'm not gonna pay them to do it anymore. Right?
We just Photoshop people in.
Photoshop. That's so much fun. But anyway, so it's just telling them about our program and all that good stuff, right? It's simple. I mean, and look, and it's not even that you're doing it. It's not that you are. It's the fact that you gave them this. No one else is, right? It's just all it is. And all the things in our packet. This is a list of our events. So legit, because I'm cheap, you remember. I made it the size of a regular white envelope so I can buy it at Sam's. They like $14 for the seal and stuff. So like my invitation is just the size of a regular envelope because I don't want to spend more money on these little fancy envelopes. So I got them cut like this. You gotta save money when you can, right? So anyway, that's our client. That's our fall event. They get an invitation. It looks like this, and it just says, and like that's the picture we're gonna take. I can get a wagon. Right? Isn't it cute? But apparently it's just a setting and Jason, he's so smart. Like he gets all these toys. I'm sure he can figure out how to take this picture. I know we need a photo right here. I do. Look, so cute. So anyway, we're gonna take this is what the picture's gonna look like for when so we always put what the picture's gonna look like, the backdrop of it. And we just invite them, client fall minis. And we send this to not just our clients, we send it to our sphere, because we still pretend like they're our clients, because they're going to send us somebody, and that's how we approach it. We say, we call it our past, current, and future clients. So anytime I ask for, I invite, and you're part of our VIP program, this is for our past, current, and future clients to come. I know you're going to send me somebody so you can be in our VIP program, and I'm going to invite you to our event. So I know you're going to send me a referral. That's what it said, right? Even to people like that fire us. like buyers that fire us, we sign a buyer rep agreement, and like we will legitimately let them out of a buyer rep agreement as long as they send us 3 referrals. That's what we say. Fantastic. They get out of a listing agreement, they want to cancel their listing. Oh, that's not a problem at all. You know, the only thing we ask is that if you have anybody that wants to buy or sell real estate, you'd send us a referral. Is that something I can count you for? Fantastic. So it's always about the referral.
Most of and look, at the end of the day, if the house didn't sell or whatever, it is absolutely your fault. I don't care if they didn't want to reduce the price, or you have to take ownership of that and you have to apologize for it. And if you do that, I've still had people send me referrals. If you own up to that and say, hey, look, I'm sorry, I cannot get the job done for you.
Customer service, you know, when you do a referral,
They still send you
when you're
referrals.
running a huge referral business that's based on past client referrals and your sphere and things like that, you have to create these Raven fans. Go ahead, I'm going to leave all this junk here for you. You have to create these Raven fans by creating an exceptional experience with you guys. So make sure that your communication with them is on point. You know, make sure that you are contacting your sellers every week. Make sure you're calling your buyers every week. Like they, you know, if you're setting them up, that you are going to communicate. I mean, what's the biggest failure as agents? What's the biggest complaint you get from, what's the biggest complaint you get from communication? We just did, my agent never did call me. My agent never did, my past agent I had in the past, they just, you know, took my listing and never talked to me again. Or I found my own house. That's my favorite. They found their own house. I didn't need an agent, I found my own house. And I'm like, yeah, girl, yeah, you did. That's not gonna happen here. I'm finding your house, you know, so you gotta mirror match. If they tell me, yeah, girl, I'm like, yeah, girl, yeah, I know. I can't even imagine. I know, that's terrible. But let me tell you why I'm different, boo. Let me just go ahead. And then I tell them why I'm different, right? And I do. And that's what we said, well, look, you ain't got to worry about that. I'm going to do all the hard work. Don't you worry. You go ahead. Why don't you go get yourself a daiquiri? Girl, you just sit back. This is gonna be easy. This is my job, and this is what I'm an expert in. I'm an expert in everything. I'm an expert in finding people just like you have. Oh, you want that house for $50,000? That 3-bedroom, 2,000 square foot house? I'm an expert in that. I'm gonna find that for you. Never gonna happen. But I'm an expert in it, right? So just let them know that, you know what, I'm gonna treat you like gold. I am gonna, and give them that energy. Look, I'm so excited that you decided to work with us. I'm gonna find you exactly what you're looking for and the time frame you're looking for. Would that be okay with you? If I did all the work for you, since your last agent didn't do it, would that be okay? Good, great. And then do it like they can do it. So don't just say you're gonna, don't just, you know, what is it? Talk the talk, talk the walk.
Walk the walk.
Yes, that. That. Do that. So anyway, walk the talk. That's what I was looking for. Walk your talk. Walk your talk. Yeah, so, you know, past clients is like really, you guys, if you don't treat them like gold, then you're missing an opportunity to make another $80,000 off of them. So when we say building a debt amount, and look, we've all started, and I'll tell you my story, another story, real life stuff, okay? I am from Mandeville, and the price point in Mandeville is, the average price point is right now about $345,000. Big difference in what it used to be, but anyway. Yeah. So they think that they're very above other areas of town. So when I started real estate, I was poor. I'm still poor, I think, in my head. So I don't know people that can afford these houses. I'm like, oh. So I'm going to go where I know people, right, when they're looking for houses. So I actually was ridiculed by people selling a lower end house. And they're like, well, why are you going to sell those houses? And I'm like, I don't need a house. I'm going to go sell my house. That's what they said they wanted. I'm going to go get them one. And so they're like, you know, you shouldn't drive over there and go sell that house. I'm like, okay, good for you. You don't want to drive? I'll drive. You know, if you got any referrals over there, I'll be happy to take them. I'll pay you a referral fee, right? So anyway, those people that were telling me I should not do business with those type of people, they came back when I won the MLS Rookie of the Year award. When they were telling me I shouldn't, they're like, oh, how'd you do it? I was like, you remember when you told me I shouldn't go talk to those people that weren't selling houses right here? Well, I went and sold them houses, and yeah, they had friends apparently, and they need houses too. So you just gotta, don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, I sold a $550,000 cash house for a lease opportunity that I had. So they needed to lease from me for 6 months and then buy a house. I didn't know they had it like that, but I treated them good and treat everyone good that you work with.
How many houses did you sell your first year as an independent agent?
65.
First
Something
year,
like
independent agent,
Wow.
65.
that. I think she made $146,000.
Yeah, I made $146,000 my first year. My husband told me I couldn't make
That's a lie.
Tastes
He
like
was
vinegar
quick
now, doesn't
to
it?
say that.
He says, you don't think you should set me goals out?
I had no
too high?"
idea what
He didn't know.
was
He didn't
I
know.
worked for Chevron. I had no idea what was possible when you own your own business, especially a business like real estate. I knew she was a driven woman. I knew that whatever she wanted, she was going to get. She said she wanted to make $100,000, and I said, "Well, why don't we just shoot for?" Because I had no idea. Why don't you just shoot for what you're making now, which was around 50 or 60 at her other job. I forgot what it
Yeah,
was.
I had a good job. Yeah.
And she went out and she made 146, and she tells everybody I said she couldn't. I never said she
You
couldn't.
know, I took it. There may not be because it's
That's
all,
the way
you know,
she took it.
Well, how I received it, what I heard was that you can't do it, right? I mean, I'm sure we hear that a lot in this business. You can't do that. You can't.
And I don't even remember how far into that year did you get before you even hired an assistant? Like how much of that?
That
did
was
you
my
do?
goal. That was always my goal because I still hate paper.
I mean, you did a
Yeah.
good chunk of that without
No, I
an
had 6
assistant.
months. 6 months into the business, my goal. I was in it for 3 weeks part time as an
I
agent.
don't even know if it was that long.
It was too much.
It might have been
So,
2 weeks.
I said, I'm gonna do this part-time, right? I'll never forget, my friend, told I had a real job, and, she laughed at me. And then she said, okay, I'm gonna get into real estate, and I'm gonna do this thing part-time until I can, establish myself. So I was in it a good 3 weeks, maybe. And I said, I can't do this thing part-time, I wanna do this thing full, this is stupid, I'm gonna go do this full-time. So I did it full-time, and my goal was to always just replace my income that I had. But once I got in it and I seen you had to do all those papers, I am getting an assistant. I need it. So my goal from the beginning was to always hire an assistant. So 6 months into it, I had an assistant because it was just, and then when I did that, I mean, my whole life changed. So and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get more of these things. I'm actually a master of delegating. I get my husband to do anything I want. And
But I get anything I want to, just because we know how to talk to each other.
yeah, so, but I'm a master of delegating stuff. And
And that's what real
delegating
estate's
all
really all about, by the way. You're not selling anything. The house is going to sell itself. It's can you influence people at a high level?
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And if you understand how to talk to people and how to speak with people, you can get anything you want. So I got a truck, boat, a watch.
A camper with no air conditioning.
Yeah.
But she gets whatever she wants because she knows how to speak to me.
Yeah. I just wanted to cook every day. I'm happy. I still can't get into full clothes to save my life. But anyway, do y'all have any questions about any of that?
That was so much
Amazing.
information. That was awesome.
Did y'all get it? Thank y'all. Really, thank y'all for having me today. It's been fun. I love doing this stuff. And you have a copy of my 33 Touch.
You took it back.
And I have, that's right, it's right there.
I'll make
And
sure I get it uploaded.
Do you have your scripts written down anywhere?
I do. Actually, I've delegated that to Sarah, and she put there's a cute little pumpkin on my script from October because she's she's fancy. And,
She's
so,
not office mom too.
yeah, I have a director of
So-
operations, her name is Sarah, she runs the show, and I'm glad to let her run the show because I don't want to. So we have scripts now that we follow. Every time I make a phone call, it's very purposeful, so it's always about being on purpose about what you're doing. If you're making a phone call, you're gonna have an event. Our first event, you know, it's a great event, and people like go crazy, is these pumpkin pies we give away. I go to Winn-Dixie, they $3. It's $3 for a pie. That's it. I buy 100 pies, and they come to my office. I don't even have to go bring them anywhere.
Well, we buy more than that, but usually.
Yeah, but I started, like, whoever would RSVP, I mean, if you have 50 people that RSVP, get 60 of them, and then go hand out the other ones that you may have left over.
Yeah, they
to parties
come-
that didn't come, right?
Yeah, you just call them and tell them where you're gonna have them, and they come pick them up from you. You don't
Yeah,
even
so
have to
it's
bring
so
them.
easy, those pie giveaways. Again, make sure we send a letter out, a budget, but this is what we're gonna have, and you'll have other ideas on the side. So as Sarah, you know, we come up with other ideas. Oh, no, we had this year, we're gonna try to do this next year. Chuck E. Cheese, by the way, is my new idea, because apparently it's only $8. You can have it on like a Wednesday night or Thursday night, like a corporate event, and it's $8 per kid, so the parents are free. And you gotta just order some pizza.
It's before, well, no, I think it's.
And you don't have to pay by bulk, you can just pay as they show up. So, it's pretty cool. I mean, that's my next idea. They kinda shot me down, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
When you're allotting this time to call these people, how long is it taking you, and are you the only one calling, or y'all both calling at the same time?
That's a great question. Well, our database is so big now that it takes us a month to call. And I legitly have a sheet of paper.
So you're doing this 3 months out, or
I do it 1 month out
so it takes you the whole month to call?
to make my calls. I plan out, and we already started.
Well, it's it's 9 team members, like I said before, making approximately 12 to 13 calls per day
Yeah,
for the
this is
month.
script.
Everybody gets a sheet that day. Every morning they come in, it's got maybe 12 people and their phone numbers on it from the database. And on top of the other calls you have to make that day, you make those 12 as well.
Yeah, and I legitly carry that sheet around with me all day, because if I didn't do it in the beginning of the day, it probably won't get done. So I have to get it done by the end of the day, and like, I have to turn it in.
So no, if that's like, you know, your hairdresser that you know personally, and you have one of your members calling that person?
Yeah, they all know my numbers now.
And just, they know.
Yeah, so in the script, it just introduces, hey, this is Meg with the Robin Realty Group. How are you today? Fantastic. Well, we're just calling to make sure you're invited to our VIP appreciation event. Did you happen to get the email? And they would say yes and no. Okay, well, since I got you on the phone, if you didn't get it, let me just verify your email address. And they would verify it. Okay. Well, just so you know, it's October 14th. We'll be having we have a professional photographer coming out, which she is not, but anyway. Well, she is, actually. She does do pictures. She does all my children's pictures. It's not like I'm paying a, fancy wedding photographer to come out and take pictures, right? So you could probably get someone a good deal on it, for someone to just come out and take pictures. If not, just do it yourself. So that's just in the script, so it doesn't matter who calls them. They are so used to us calling them.
Right. So what if you're just a one-person show though, and
You're
you're
gonna
not in
call.
that group, so how many do you allot? Like you said, start with the A. With everything else that you're doing in contracts and showing property and stuff like that, how do you allot?
So that's a great question.
Sphere.
Yeah. How much of your business do you want from this year?
The majority of my business comes from this sphere, so that's what I need to work the most.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to, how do I reach out and touch these people without it being 4 times a year, but more on a personal level?
Do you consider a phone conversation personal?
Yes.
Okay. So it is
Now,
personal.
there's some that are more of acquaintances, that like, my parents' Sunday school group or something like that. But I know them, they know me, but there would be, I would have to look up their phone number.
Okay, so that's part of the practicing. So that's part of the preparing. In doing this, there's 2 steps. There is cleaning up your database and adding to your database, right? Then you got actually performing. So that's all of the extra work. That wouldn't be considered prospecting time. That's just all work, that's just work, right?
Database preparedness.
Yeah, you're just gonna set time in your calendar every day or a certain amount of, just make a goal. So even if it's an hour a week or 2 hours a week, how much time do you wanna commit to that? Just make sure it's not during your call time. It's not call time. That's just like, you know how you got your scripts and role playing and you have just negotiated contracts. My calendar looks like prospecting. I have an hour I spend on spare calls. I have an hour on expired, so I want to withdraw. And then I have an hour on So that's what my morning looks like. Then I go into probably a meeting of some sort or lunch and learn. And then I go into client calls for the day. And eventually go to appointment. But, you know, like, so you just got to kind of lay out your day and see how much time you can allocate every week to it. Just do it, it's consistency. It's just not, you're not going to get it all knocked out in like a week. You're just doing it over time. And it's to make your life easier. If you don't have, like, if you have their number and you don't have the rest of this, then there's your call for the day. You call them, say, oh, I gotta get you, I'll take my information, I'm so glad you answered. I'm having an event, thank you. I'm having an event, I'd love to invite you to, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of the information. So as you're doing the event and you're getting better at it, you're going to have more information to collect. You can have information to go to these touchdowns. Does that make sense? Allocate your time to it.
I see now you're putting that you're still doing your lead generation, but you're putting your sphere right in there, kind of right before, right after.
I literally carry
See,
one
I
sheet
think
paper.
of my lead generation and my sphere is almost the same thing.
What do you mean? What are you calling them for? What are you calling the sphere for? For that given time? Just to touch base.
Calling them, saying, hey, I'm not,
Yeah.
you know anybody who wants to sell a house because I've got some buyers that want to buy in your neighborhood.
Right, and that's a great call. However, if you had to call them again next month, would you?
It would be about, it would probably be an email or something to let them, if it would be an event.
Yeah, so
I would probably try to get them to my new office and let them see where I am and meet, you know, what we're all about or something like that.
Yes, so this approach, the way we're approaching it is, yes, you're gonna ask them for business, but this is a soft approach to making those phone calls, basically. It's just a systematic, soft approach. Obviously, if I have somebody that wants to move into their neighborhood, I'm gonna call them that day. You know, that has nothing to do with the system.
Right.
I'm still gonna call them again to invite them, even if it's the next day, and they on my list the next day. Oh, I know I just talked to you yesterday, but I didn't tell you about everything else, kind of thing. So it's a soft way to stay in a systematic soft way to stay in contact with your past clients in your sphere. Plus, you probably said that positive other stuff, like singing, oh, I've seen that, somebody on the phone come up around, yes, when you beat that at first. You know, like I'm gonna bug them, but by calling them all the time, you're gonna feel comfortable and confident on picking up that phone, and you're gonna say, hey, it's me. And they're gonna know who he is. Because you've made those conversations over time with them, inviting them to different things. They're gonna know who you are. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Ever do any pop-ups in our house?
That is a great question. So every year, at the end of each year, so my 2017 clients, I go by every single person we sold a house to in 2017. And last year we dropped off those little butt cakes. Yeah, we dropped off butt cakes last year. The year before that, we dropped off
butt cake?
a butt cake. Butt cake.
I'm gonna get me some butt cake tonight.
But yeah, yeah, I do drop, but that's the only time. Yeah, the only time I can drop by the house is once a year, and I leverage that. I mean, I go, but I don't go by every month. I used to go it's too much. Yeah, so my 2017 clients will get a bundt cake at the end of the year. We'll drop one off. They're getting invited to all of our stuff. You know? Yeah. Any other questions, y'all?
Alright, let's wrap it up.
Sorry I took so much of y'all's time.
Bless you, woman. That was awesome.
That was so good.